On October 23rd, 24th, and 25th, I spent the day at St. Francis Indian School from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. all 3 days. I met with the 6th grade class, 7th grade class, 8th grade class, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. I met with all females, and the next coming weeks I'll meet with the male students. The male students were doing no means no groups, and the females were doing the alcohol and drug prevention. It was Red Ribbon Week at the St. Francis Indian School, which is why I came in. The 6th, 7th, and 8th grade girls, I had them do an activity like this, which is called the decision collision, and we talked about a dilemma, like a situation that required them to use decision making skills, and then there was going to be 3 solutions to that dilemma, and also consequences that we talked about. So the dilemma was we all came up with, I helped them come up with one, which is that they were at a sleepover at a friend's house and alcohol and drugs was offered to them. So that was the dilemma, the dilemma box. And then we came up with solutions on how to deal with that situation. One of their solutions, this is just one student I'm using as an example. One solution was to tell their friends no, tell an adult that they trusted in the household, and solution number 3 would be to lock themselves in the bathroom and call their parents to come pick them up. Because we also talked about that if maybe if they told their friends no, that they could possibly get hurt, or if they didn't communicate in a healthy way, they could get in an argument. And if they had told somebody in the household who was an adult that they thought they trusted, they could also get hurt that way. So we had to come up with safety plans. And once we came up with safety plans, we had them put them in their solution boxes as well. And then after their exercise sheet, we talked about any questions or concerns they might have with meth-specific addiction, because I do specifically work at the meth program. And we also talked about what they would like in the future from our program, and we did schedule to come back in the middle of November with more plans. So the students agreed on they would like to make public service announcements, so we were thinking of creating like signs to hang in the community. They would like to hear from somebody who is currently in treatment, who is suffering from meth addiction, and they would like to hear from somebody who is in recovery. So it is in the plans to for me to come back with one of the counselors who is in recovery, and bring also a client to speak to the students. They also had questions such as why is alcohol and drugs so addictive, and about specific STDs, like they wanted to know more about Hep C. And they also wanted to know more about the brain and how it's affected with all mood altering chemicals. So that was the middle school, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then the 9th grade, I did this exercise with them. It's called You as a Drug User. And it asks questions to describe yourself as a drug user. And also describe your friends. Describe some things that you might not like. Describe your appearance. Describe what you think of, what you would think of school like, how your school life would be like, and describe future plans. So I let them all kind of navigate this on their own to kind of do it, and then we talked about it. So some people already kind of knew, I guess, about how to describe themselves as a drug user. This one, for example, says describe themselves as fidgety, describe their friends as dressing like a stripper, really disliked people telling me what to do, describe their appearance as skinny, looking like a bum, and they thought school would be a waste of their time, and their future plans would be stealing from family and going on the run and making drugs. And this is something that they came up with on their own, which really explains how prevalent drugs are in this community. And their concerns were also wanting to know more about meth in the brain, wanting to know more about marijuana and the negative of it, because it is portrayed as a positive in the community. And they also would like to hear from somebody who's in recovery as well. So I am going to do a needs assessment with these two activities I did, with this one for the 9th through 12th graders. I'm going to do a needs assessment based on, the answers to this. And I'm going to do a needs assessment based on the decision collision from the middle school students. I also took a lot of notes about questions and concerns they had. So I'm also going to apply that to the needs assessment. And, it was really great to hear their feedback from what they would like more. So I have a huge list here. They did not think that an assembly would be effective. They liked the classroom setting because there was, a more intimate conversation. So yeah, we're going to do the classroom setting again. We're going to bring in PowerPoint with alcohol and drugs in the brain, specific drugs too, like meth and marijuana and alcohol and pills, which are very prevalent on this community. And also, I only know that based on some of the conversation we had. So I think it'd be a good idea for me to make a survey based on which drugs are more prevalent in that community. They would like to know more about opioids. They also would like to make public service announcements, want to know more about STDs such as Hep C. They want to know more about the treatment process. They want more education on meth and why it is so addictive, the certain smells of meth, and a checklist of how you could tell if somebody is high on meth. Also would like to know more about prevention that could happen in their community. And they talked about having more rec for the community because they believe that students their age are more likely to use alcohol and drugs due to not having enough things to do on a reservation. So yeah, I'll be going in I believe it's the 2nd week or 3rd week of November, and I'm planning to go back with, I'll create a survey on which alcohol and drugs are more prevalent in this school or among the community, what kind of prevention activities they think would be successful, and what they took out of the prevention activity that I've done with them and that we're going to continue doing with them, and also have the education on the alcohol and drugs in the brain and the STDs, and also let them hear from somebody in recovery. So that is my plan.